All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Meteorologist Griffin Hardy here with your forecast on this foggy Thursday morning. Starting things off with the view of the Queen City of the test camera, or the lack of a view, I should say, with much of the fog obscuring the view a bit on the camera there. Dense fog advisory farther west, where we're seeing the densest fog right now towards Jefferson Davis Parish. That's not just Jefferson Davis Parish where we're seeing the fog, though. Here's a look at the visibility out there across much of the area, actually. Visibility down to half a mile. So please drive carefully this morning. The fog is pretty dense out there early this morning after the rain from yesterday has now pushed out of here. There's the rain that we saw overnight last night tracking towards the east and out of our way. I think we'll stay rain-free for most of the rest of the day, but also cloudy and also mild for mid-January. Temperatures right now in the upper 50s to lower 60s, right at 60 degrees as you head outside in Lafayette, so not as cold as it was earlier in the week. But speaking of cold, it will be cold enough for some possible impacts for us from a winter storm this weekend that's going to be sweeping across the southeast. Winter storm watch in effect along and north of I-10 going up towards Ville Platte and Opelousas from Saturday afternoon through Sunday afternoon. What this means for us is that we could be seeing just barely enough moisture and cold temperatures for some light ice accumulations. I think for most of the event, though, it's mostly just going to be cold rain with some thunder mixed in on Saturday. It's really Sunday morning where we have just a little chance of seeing some icy spots develop, and then we'll be drying out Sunday night and just turning frigid back behind the storm system with temperatures falling down to the 20s into the start of next week. For now, though, things will stay mild and just a little soggy with cloudy skies hanging around most of the rest of the day. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Temperatures also mild, too, with the extra moisture hanging around. Mid to upper 60s for those high temperatures today, with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. Here's a look at it in the Futurecast mapped out for you. Some spots farther south will hit 70. We'll see a bit of extra sunshine, I think, farther south, so we have a better chance of hitting the 70s briefly before we all tumble back down to the upper 50s, low 60s again later on tonight. A couple showers possible again early tomorrow morning towards our southeastern parishes as you go down Highway 90 towards Morgan City. A couple little dots of rain possible there early tomorrow morning. Still looking dry, though, for most of the day Friday up until we start to see some impacts from this large winter storm that's going to be impacting the southeast. But we are far enough to the south to where I think the impacts for us will be minor. Again, early Sunday morning is where we have just a little window where we could see some light icing possible as some of the rain possibly turns into freezing rain. That's rain that freezes as soon as it hits something. So for example, roads or trees, as soon as it hits those things, then it starts to freeze over. But that's only going to last for a very short time before we dry back out Sunday afternoon and see much colder temperatures move in Sunday night. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Lows down to the lower 20s Sunday night as well as Monday night.